So there's Elden Ring DLC coming, and here's the things that I think you need to do to be prepared for it. So let's go. So per usual, FromSoft has not given us an exact date of when this new DLC is going to come out, but we do have a lot of speculation, rumors, and data mines that say otherwise. Now, here's what I'm going to say about it. All this is speculation. Every single thing that I'm about to tell you is stuff that might happen, but regardless, based on the past DLCs that Dark Souls 1, 2, and 3 have all had, we can assume that there's going to be a DLC very, very soon, considering we just got the Coliseum update not too long ago to Elden Ring. So there's a few things that I want to talk about, but first off, let's talk about whereabouts within the game the DLC could possibly take place. If the old Dark Souls games can teach us anything, is that typically the DLC happens in the middle of the game. As of right now, those games have had DLCs that have not happened at in-game levels. So my advice to you is to get a character and start leveling him and leave that character in the middle of the game. So if DLC does come anytime soon, you will be right around the level where it will be the most challenging to you, which is how Elden Ring was designed to play. But this also goes back to player style and how you want to experience the potential DLC that's coming. For example, I have a 290 level character that I could take right into the DLC and destroy every single boss, and it would be super fun and awesome because I would be really overpowered. But would there be a challenge there? Probably not. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to level these characters up. I'm going to leave a character right around level 80, leave a character right around level 110, and just kind of see where the DLC falls for me personally. But are these rumors any more than just speculation? Are they wishful thinking? Are they something that we all want but will never get? Well, here's something that was found on a gaming subreddit for the DLC being leaked for Elden Ring. As you can see from the Discord conversation listed above, Lance is having a conversation about there being a massive, huge DLC that's coming to Elden Ring very, very soon. If you don't know who Lance is, he's a modder in the FromSoft space, and he is a very credible source when it comes to FromSoft leaks about DLC or gaming content coming from From Software. In my opinion, From Software would be really smart to start getting a really hardcore DLC schedule up and running and released in a timely manner for one reason and one reason only. Right now, you have a ton of new players coming to the game because this game just won Game of the Year at the Game Awards last year in December. FromSoft would be able to capitalize on a ton of new players joining the game and staying in the game for longer because of the DLC that's coming. I know we've talked briefly about the Coliseum DLC that's happened so far, and if we're honest, it wasn't a great update. In my opinion, there's more PvE players of Elden Ring than there is PvP. Now, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, because I do not PvP at all. I'm absolutely terrible at it, so I'm a little bit biased. But if there was a PvE update, aka a DLC, it would keep people in the game for a lot longer, and it would help From Software keep the shelf life of Elden Ring throughout the remainder of the year. But going back to the speculation, there is a ton that is speculated about this DLC coming into play within the next few months. There's been talk of 30 bosses. There's been talk of an entire different area for the DLC. We won't actually know until we get some solid form of word released by FromSoft, but what I can tell you is that if you start Googling DLC for Elden Ring, there are a lot of articles that are coming up now trying to figure out when this is going to start coming. People are talking and people are really, really wanting this, and I think right now is the perfect time for FromSoft to start releasing DLCs. I would love to personally see them release a DLC every 3 months for all of 2023, but that's just my personal opinion. I doubt they're going to be doing that. I would be happy for one massive PvE DLC to hold us over until the next FromSoft game. So going back to the original topic and the original question of this entire video, how do you prepare? What do you do? What are the best things that you can do in Elden Ring now to get geared up, leveled up, and ready to rock for this DLC that's coming? So here's a list of a few things that I think you can prepare for or do to prepare for so you won't be taken off guard when Elden Ring DLC drops and you'll be ready to hit it full steam ahead. Starting out with number one, which I alluded to in the beginning of the video, get a few characters to a few different levels in the game so you can experience the DLC at those particular levels. If you want to go into the DLC fully overgeared, way overpowered, super level 300, do what you're going to do. No one's going to bat an eye at you. You definitely will not have to get good at killing any of those bosses in the DLC. But if you want to go in and experience Elden Ring DLC how it was supposed to be experienced, I would recommend you level a character up to level 50 and then also level a character up to about level 100 just so you can get all the full experience. If you go in at a lower level, it's going to be really hard. If you go in at a level where you're supposed supposed to go in or what's speculated that you're supposed to go in, then you are going to have a great time with this Elden Ring DLC. I know for me personally, I'm going to go in with every character that I have, and I'm going to beat the DLC on all different levels just so I can see how difficult it is, and then also so I can see how fun it is to destroy bosses with my level 300 character. Number 2, get your build ready for what you want to do in the DLC. There are so many different ways to play this game. There are so many different build videos out there. I have a ton of build videos as well if you want to go check out my channel. They're super fun, super great. I emphasize having a ton of fun on this game rather than just min-maxing everything into the ground, but figure out how you want to play in the DLC. If you want to have super crazy good armor and wield a giant sword, go strength. If you want to dart in and out like a ninja, use a dex build. If you're trying to do something from range, rock a caster. All these builds are super viable and super fun to play in this game, so you're not going to be pigeonholed in just one particular type of build for the Elden Ring DLC. And number 3, go hoard a ton of smithing stones. Make sure you can buy every single smithing stone from the old crones in Round Table Hold, because we have no idea what potential new weapons could be coming in Elden Ring. It would be a shame if you got a new weapon and couldn't level it up to get its max potential out because you didn't have enough stones to do so. Snag your somber stones, snag your smithing stones. You're gonna need them, especially if you're about to start a new game. Plus, definitely snag a bunch of stones so you can use them to upgrade every single weapon that you get, because they're going to help you overall in the long run do more damage, min-max your builds, and overall have a better time in Elden Ring. And number 4, make sure you go around and collect all the incantations, spells, and consumables that you don't have yet, because we don't know if the DLC is going to cut off some parts of the game, if you're going to not have access to certain NPCs and their quest lines. We just don't know. So it is better safe than sorry to go back through and make sure that you're doing all NPC quest lines and getting all items and consumables that you possibly can before the DLC hits, and the game could potentially be changed forever. And the 5th and final item we have on this list is do a deep dive into the lore of Elden Ring. I cannot tell you how interesting and crazy this game is just based on your one sole playthrough through the game. You have to do a deep dive because there's so much in the game that is left to your imagination, that is not exactly stated, that you have to read items to find out. I promise you, if you do a deep dive of the lore of Elden Ring, you will have way more of an idea of what's going on when the DLC does drop than if you just go in blind, having no idea what the storyline is, who the characters are. Even playing through this game one time or 2 times, it's still very confusing when you go and talk to certain NPCs, when you're hearing different backstories and storylines. So do a deep dive. You will thank me later. It is going to be well worth your time, and you are going to sink hours and hours and hours into this game from looking up lore on YouTube. So guys, that's my list. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments some of the things that you guys are doing to prep for DLC and what you think the DLC might be. I know there's a lot of lore that's not covered specifically in the game. There's a lot of speculation going on, so I'd love to know your guys' thoughts. I'd love to know if you guys even think there's going to be DLC coming within the next few months. But with all that being said, guys, I'd really appreciate a like or a subscribe on the video. It helps and goes a very long way. I appreciate the heck out of all of you. The videos have been doing so well recently on the channel, so thank you guys so much for that. And until next time, stay safe, enjoy the game, and I'll see you in the next one.